Salute, salute, salute. Peace and power, peace and power. I thank the universal truth and the absolute laws of nature for guiding me, protecting me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. A divine mind knows, a divine mind shows. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. Peace and power to the people that struggle. Salute. Stand up, stand tall. As you come on in, know that this is a safe space. Know that this is a space of learning and getting learned up. Know that this is a space of educating and being educated. Know, that this is a space of questions, answers, comments, concerns, dialogue, discussion, analyzing. This is a space of intelligence, of unifying, encouragement. This is a space of love, revolutionary struggle, all on our path towards true liberation. As my classroom assistants come on in, please make sure all contact information is in the chat for the duration of class. Please make sure all funding information, funding links, all ways of funding is in the chat for the duration of class and throughout all classes. Fund the war effort. If you or anyone you know is in need of anger management, please book an assessment. Please book an assessment. Make sure that you are not the next news story. Make sure that. Okay? If you or anyone you know is in need of any, and I mean any, domestic violence intervention, if you believe you or a loved one, an employee or an employer, is going through an intimate relationship abusive situation, please book an assessment. Find out the warning signs, the alarms, what you need to be alerted to in order to prevent or survive and thrive through this consistently increasing phenomenon of domestic violence. Book an assessment. Okay? Listen up. As you can already hear in my tone, excited. It's Friday. And I'm on that Friday Brooklyn bullshit. Things need to be addressed. Things need to be dressed down very, very intelligently and specifically. So put your thinking caps on. Don't get in your feelings. If some of these strays go your way, I need y'all to please tag the New York City mayor and any other mayors in any other cities that agree with this little game that they're getting ready to play. Yeah, tag them. If you are in the Pennsylvania area or LA, please somebody tag Wiz Khalifa. He's having a problem identifying. Yeah, tag Wiz Khalifa. Sisters, queen comrades, women folk, tag yourselves. Hey, me Washington. What's going on? Much appreciated for the early funding of the war effort. Please, sister girls, queen comrades, women folk, tag your sister. And tag Nikki Minaj while you at it. Tag Meg the Bronco while you at it. Tag Bucky Johnson. Yeah, Miss Shay. Tag them all. Tag Tasha K too. Tag them all. We got to get down with the get down. And as we spoke in class, and I told y'all this was going to happen, somebody tag Yassine Bey, tag Common Sense, and tag Drake. Tell them all to come to class. Got something for their ass. Tag them. Tag them. Where shall we begin? Where should we begin? I see you, K-Stone. Matter of fact, that's where we going to begin, because I see y'all on y'all little bullshit already. It's Friday and y'all in class, and you see your classmates cutting, so y'all ain't going to tag them. Yeah, I see y'all on y'all bullshit, but we are going to get it right. Who is in class? Joey of Hustle and Smoke. You get the first 55, and you was first in class. 55, Joey? Yeah, hold that. Jeff Spark, what it do? Thomas S. Salute, what's going on? Huh? Nah, man, they not doing that, Thomas S. No, you just ain't had your ass in class. 55, Thomas S. Hold that. Batty, what's going on? I see you. I'm popping opinions. What's going on? Abe Wood, I see you. Tierra Green, I see you. What's going on, T? Disobey everything is in the spot. Disobey everything. Wicked. And foreign and domestic, all enemies of a black people. Peace, Lord. Salute. Disobey is in the spotty spot. Corey Grant, I see you in here. You get a 55. You ain't come through here yesterday. C. Bliz, I see you. What's up, C. Bliz? We got to get it in. Yes, we do, C. Bliz. That's my moderator. Lake Charles. Salute. What up? Mark Lewis, what up? Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Yeah, K-Stone in the spotty spot. Kelton Hannah. Zone 864 TV. We see you. We see you. Turner. Walaikum assalam. Rahmatullah wabarakatuh. How is your Juma Friday? Okay, what's going on? Versace Broccoli? 55. You knew it was coming. Melody Warren. What's going on? George Johnson. We see you. Who? Phoebe Jones? 55. Darrell. Jerome. What's going on? Maxwell Trucking. We see you in the spotty spot. Who's that? Elusive Views. What's going on? Sales. What's good? Sean Jenkins. Yeah. Cruddy Dave? What the hell, Cruddy Dave? Be being there making extra pages. Cruddy Dave don't get a 55. Because you got the wrong name on the attendance sheet. Add 1050. Add 1050, get a 55. Hold that 55. We see you up in here. Van, what up? We see Van Rutledge in the spotty spot. Alan Gordon, what's going on? You tuned in? While at work? Don't get fired. You may not have a 55, but don't get fired. Yeah. Richard Keith, what's going on? Freddie, we see you. Okay, super chat. What's going on? Peace from ATL Zone 1. West Side. Elusive Views. You know what? We need you, Elusive Views. You got to tag Shay Johnson because they playing themselves. Johnny Boy, what's going on? Salute. What up, Waldo? Tammy Darcy. Greetings to you, too. Take a 55, Tammy. You got a whammy. 55. Let's go on. Tag Shay Bucky Johnson. We ain't going to start with her. It's a lot of hip-hop that we got to get to. But before we do that, I have to address something on a very, very personal note. And I take it personally because I know the truth. Right? Hold on. Let me get this. Let me get situated. Let me get comfortable. Because I know the truth. And for a while now, man, I got to say, at least the past 6 months, I've been very quiet, very tight-lipped on what's going on in Brooklyn, specifically in NYC, with the gun violence. Been tight-lipped on it. I've been watching the false representation in the numbers. I've been watching the tone of the streets, and I've been watching and listening specifically for language. And I have not heard it. There's been a media wipeout, a scrub of what's really going on. And I take it personally because I've been in the work. I've sat at the tables. I've trained people and been trained by people when it comes to gun violence. Unnecessary gun violence. I know what is being done, what is not being done. And I've been, okay? Well, one, because there are people who are very close to me, still struggling in that work. And they're being handicapped. They're not they're not being allowed to give their best when it comes to dealing with this. And I made every attempt not to go all the way in, but I can't do it anymore. I can't. I have to, because this is what these people are trying to push off in the news, and as such, creating opportunity for people who are asleep, for people who are not aware, giving the opportunity for them to pay attention to other less important issues. New York City mayor declares social media environmental toxin. This is what he went in on. Now, we all know in this class, we know just how toxic social media can be, especially if you're dealing with people who are not woke at all. People who are completely, totally asleep. People who have just got here. Or individuals, and I want y'all to understand this particular group, because it's a large group, though we may not believe so. People who do not engage in social media. And I'm telling you, just because you're here every day, just because I'm here every day, you would not understand the number of people who do not touch social media, who just don't do it, who have no clue about these false narratives, about these events, about these certain individuals. They just don't know. Okay? They don't. So, in this statement, okay? In this statement, it leaves a lot a whole lot to be assumed. Okay? A whole lot. So, he declares social media environmental toxin. Didn't and will not ever speak about landlords and how environmentally toxic they are, right? Fell back from talking about sanitation and the rats. Fell back from all that. Remember? The rat czar and all that? Remember that? Fell back from that. Making the city safe, for real, that's not in it either. They went on and are moving in this tangent to attack the grandness of social media, especially the ideas that may form in young minds, children, right? 16 and under. This is very dangerous territory. Very, very, very dangerous territory. Okay? I don't want you to be emotionally charged with fear and start agreeing with some of this bullshit that people are talking about when they're talking about censorship and not being allowed to tell the truth. And who may be sitting at these controls and at these buttons to determine who gets specific information and who doesn't. Now, we know that social media has been used as a weapon to make sure that certain generations and groups of people are just out of their mind, distracted, just toe up. We know that. We know that. Okay? However, we have to be very mindful of when they try to group everything that comes through social media and technology as harmful. Okay? Got to be careful. Got to watch that. Because though we see the various false narratives, though we see the abundance of bullshit, coonery, right? Ignorance, right? Though we see that, we also know that that is a very small percentage of what comes across on social media. Very small. If you're not engaged in the bullshit, you won't catch it. You won't see it. Our responsibility is to make sure our youth and our elders or anybody else that is new to social media is pointed in the right direction. Okay? Because we know a lot of the information on the Black Panther Party is there. We know a lot of information on the BLA is there. We know a lot of information on the IRA is there. We know historical facts are on there. We know that there are natural remedies on there. We know that there are ways to learn technology on it. We know that there's so much in these libraries, you know, which your phone has become. Your library, your encyclopedia. We know that. And specific truths. Okay? So got to be mindful of that. But since this is what he said, right? We got to go right at it and at him. We are the first major American city to take this step and call out the danger of social media like this, the mayor said. Just as the Surgeon General did with tobacco and guns, we are treating social media like other public health hazards and ensuring that tech companies take responsibility for their products. He need to be careful with that too, right? Because tech companies taking responsibility for their products also is including in that your little robots that y'all using for law enforcement. You understand? Because that's a tech company product, right? Because they already made very strong attempts to absolve the police department and the city governments and federal governments from responsibility should one of those robots body somebody. Okay? So we're going to watch this language. But I want you to make note that in the vagueness of this comment, he's not being specific, right? To who and what? What are the toxins? See, you and I know. Like, we're going to get into the toxins later of what it is doing to the generations of black women. We're going to get into that. But first, we got to stick to how news agencies, specifically in NYC, have padded the numbers when it comes to gun violence. For the last, since the pandemic, I have been one who take record of every shooting that I am aware of within the 5 boroughs, and sometimes nationally. So I know for absolute fact that there are way more homicides and shootings that they are letting be known. I know how they shift, right, the lanes and their little graphs and how they log certain things in. But he didn't mention the fact that over the past week, we had almost 10 homicides in Brooklyn. 5 in the course of a couple of hours. Unalived individuals, all in our community, melanated in one night. And subsequently every other night. Yeah, that's in Brooklyn. I didn't even get to Queens and the BX in Harlem. Do you understand? This has been consistent. Somebody has got clapped every day, every night, consistently. In New York City for at least, we know since the New Year started, and I can tell you for absolute fact, almost a year, somebody has gotten clapped. Now with all these shootings, many fatal, I have yet to see the gun czar. I'm going to keep it 1,000. I have yet to see the gun czar anywhere. On the news, at a press conference, at any of the locations. None of I have not seen them. But this was an appointed position by this mayor to address this, which they said was going to be fully funded, ran, operated to make sure the city is safe. I do not see it. Not at all. Not a peep. We seen the rat czar 10, 12 times. Yeah. We've seen people who we know come from the hip-hop community out there helping the migrants. Service provided for them to make sure that they get into hotels, to make sure they get into shelters, to make sure they are fed, to make sure that they get into the system, to get EBT and all this other. Made sure. However, our communities are plagued with unnecessary, ignorant gun violence. We're not speaking on revolutionary gun violence, liberating. We're not speaking. This is not Palestine fighting for their right to live. We're talking about silly, ignorant gun violence. And you ain't hear peep from no one on a large scale consistently. Not my son, not Tamika Mallory, not none of them. Gone. Disappeared in the wind. You have seen them, such as I have, if you watch them on vacations, chummy with Democratic elected officials on the highest levels. You've seen them peddling merch, books, and trying to be social media influencers. Yet when it's time to do the work in the street, you haven't seen it at all. There's been a vacuum in that specific line of work. That's why the numbers is consistent. That's why they're consistently going up. And that is why they are misrepresenting the numbers the way they do. Because they are embarrassed that the work isn't being done. They are embarrassed that they don't have a hold on it the way they said they could. Where the guns are. No, for real, for real. Where's his team? Where's the deputy mayor in that? Where they at? Where is this crisis management system that was going to deal with things holistically? I've seen them in Dubai riding on camels and shit. I've seen them all over the world on swings. Haven't seen them in the streets. At all. Now, for some of you who don't know, maybe new to the class and new to me, I know this work very well. Trained in the work very well. Not by no dun-dun-duns. By those who sat at the building blocks of the work, the foundations of it. Damn a crisis management system. I'm talking about Operation Ceasefire. I'm talking about being trained by Chicago, by Frank, by Kobe, by Marcus, by Theo Hardman. You understand? Being in this work. from the beginnings, sitting and chatting with Sister Amina. Having refresher trainings and bills and encouragement to keep pushing. So I know exactly how the program is supposed to be ran. I know how it's been tweaked time and time again over the years, and once solid people replaced by people who don't know the streets, mothers, grandmothers, squares, people who are very less than credible, and it has all become a get paid. Let me get paid so me and mine can be out of the initial way. Let me get up out of nature. Let me get up over here. Let me move over here. Let me. This is what it's become, a me, me, me. And less of a we and a assisting of us. So when you go on making these big press conferences and wearing his $450 shirts and ties, talking about social media is the toxin. Nah, man, I'm not trying to hear that shit, homeboy. No, no, no. You trying to play. You trying to play. And if y'all don't understand where this globe is moving, right? Because you listening to somebody who is telling you is a Democrat. You listening to people claiming that they are Republican. You listening to all these titles and all these groupings and not seeing that they're making an attempt to globally oppress people who are not in an alignment and taking oaths to this dumb shit and are, excuse me, diligently working to silence and distract all of us, you sadly mistaken. It's time to wake up. Now again, I know they know better. I know they know better. I know for an absolute fact that they are not presenting this gun czar. I know that for an absolute fact. I know for an absolute fact that the media has been asked, even ordered, not to mention it because you don't hear it. Nobody is questioning that. Y'all got on him about these rats, and you seen the rats all several times. These rats ain't shooting nobody. But nobody is asking what happened to the program. What happened to this crisis management system? Where are all these excellent people at who knew the work? Where are they at? While people are dying every day in the 5 boroughs by gunfire, unalive by gunfire every day. And if somebody is not expiring, somebody's being maimed, and nobody questioned that? Y'all forgot that we had a gun czar? And it's nothing personal. Nothing personal. Because as a person, as an individual, as a formerly incarcerated person as a father, that man does an excellent job. It ain't personal, but this is business. The business of saving black folk. Where is he at? Where he at? And not no one from Fox News, no one from UPN, no one from whatever, WB, nobody from ABC, CBS, NBC. Nobody asking where the guns are at. The police ain't even saying, yo, hold on. We overwhelmed. Where y'all people at? No one? I'm saying this triggers me because I'm out here. I have kids, I have family out here. So when you talk about the toxins of social media, miss me with that bullshit. Get out of here. You don't really mean that. You ain't saying nothing specific. We getting ready to get into these black women folk here. Yeah. That's the toxin of social media. You want to worry about that? You want to worry about that? You want to keep having these little garbage press runs? They showed you with supposed drill rappers and these other dudes, and this is what y'all gonna do. That shit was 1.5 years ago. We ain't seen none of them since. What are they doing? What are they doing? They being podcasters. They not talking about this. They talking about who eating who butt. These people that you met with that's supposed to put a dent in this gun violence. That's supposed to have been able to speak to the youth. Where they at? Like I said from the beginning, it was cap. But I just gave y'all some time. Especially in this class, I gave y'all some time to see. And the shit I be talking about is very, very real. When I'm telling you that they cap and they garbage with it. Because you ain't seen nothing. You ain't hear a peep. 5 fatally shot in the course of a few hours. Only about 10 miles apart. All in between there. From East New York to Clinton Hill. Where is the police? Where is the crisis management system? Where they at? It went back to being rappers and spoken word artists and all this other weirdo shit. They're not even in politics. Because they out of line, they out of step. 45 is coming back through. No plans. No immediate fixes. No nothing. They're clueless. So, Mr. Mayor, stop with your censorship bullshit. We don't know what you are getting from old Benji, Nettie over there. And they done told you something, but we know they got you by the scrotum. Yeah. And I want my class to know that I'm on it. Don't think because I don't come on here and give you a class on it every day that I'm not watching. Oh, I see. Trust and believe. somebody getting dropped or shot at in BK every day. And you don't see none of them out there nowhere. So what sense does it make? No, tell me, what sense does it make to say that you're going to attack the toxins in social media? That shit don't even make sense. Who is going to be sitting at the helm? Who is going to be the group of people to determine what is useful information or what is not on social media? Who are these people? What if they determine that I'm not what needs to be on social media? This is what y'all have to listen for when they say bullshit like this. And woe is me. I'm telling you, if ever there is legislation that is allowing people, such as a mayor, such as a city council, and I know for absolute fact that they got bozos, birds, clowns, all type of mandingos on city council that don't know nothing about the streets. I'm telling you right now, I know that for absolute fact. Straight clowns, pussy, don't know nothing about anything in the street, don't have no type of respect, can't call a shot, nothing. Right there in the seats on city council. Just got there so they dumb as a button and don't know nothing about politics. You mean to tell me that you are going to allow them to determine whether or not you can look up and see who is Sekou Odinga, who is Kwame Ture, what are the Mau Mau? You going to sit there and allow that? Nah, let them talk that talk. Because we know it's toxic. We know it's toxic. We know it's bullshit. That's why we come to class and discuss it, right? So let's get on. Let's move it on. Let's move along, right? Because one of the things that are toxic is their consistent attack on melanated male masculinity. We know that for a fact. They've been doing it. We read everything. We see the plays. So now as we talked about your man, Wiz Khalifa, and his booming system boots, before we said he was identifying. We said he was having issues with his pronouns. And here we go again. This time we don't know if he got on his booming system boots. But we do know that he just did something very sus. And as such, people got on him for it, but his reply, his response was even more sus. So if you don't know, like I said, we don't know everything that go on in social media on real time. We just don't. A lot of us work. A lot of us have a lot of things to do. A lot of us get busy. But when it comes to, commercial rap and the culture and how it's moving and the way it's positioned, because in this Mayor Adams calling it environmentally toxic or toxins, he don't talk about the emasculation, right? He don't talk about the emasculation of heterosexual men. How toxic is that? Right? He's sitting in a pocket where he may sit with individuals, just what is homie name? Tony Porter and all of them in A Call to Men, where they are encouraging men to make sure that you're balanced and knowledgeable about the rainbow community and the lizards, and make sure that you're not abusive to them. Right? This is what they're attempting to frame nice and neatly. No, you must do that, because if you don't do that, then you're not a true man. This is the shit that they push. And they push that in closed doors. They push that in private Zooms. They push that onto nonprofits in order for them to get the funding that may have been allotted. So it's on social media, and it's in language. So in order for you to sit there and get resources and find or be found and utilized to work, you have to make sure that you are at least promising not to be pro-black, not to be pro-heterosexual man. You have to make sure that you got space in your heart, because this is what they push. You have to be sympathetic to the lizard community. So now, Mr. Mayor haven't said nothing about his gun czar, and definitely in his rant on social media being this toxin, ain't say nothing about the dehumanization and the emasculation of our men. So dudes like Wiz Khalifa can play CPR games and blow shotguns in men's mouth to mouth. A man who was obviously asleep, and this little sweet boy with his giggle and his boots found it quite hilarious to go lip to lip and blow a shotgun, which is exchanging smoke in another man's mouth, because a man fell asleep with his mouth open. You, sir, decided to give this man mouth to mouth. Do you understand? That's not toxin? Huh? That's not toxin? Is that the toxicity that our mayor is speaking on? This sweet man who likes to wear jeggings in the gym with no drawers, LL Boomer system boots, all type of spy versus spy attire, putting his mouth on another man's mouth and blowing marijuana smoke in it while he's asleep. What is that about? Because we all know when coming up in the 70s and the early and mid 80s, right, when our old timers and our OGs was blowing Chiba, rolling it up in paper, and we watched them and said, what are they doing? Giving each other shotguns. both parties were well awake, because as you are blowing, as one of them were blowing the air out, right? This Chiba smoke out. The other individual was fully awake and inhaling and breathing it in. Right? Yeah. And usually they still had a little joint in the mouth, blowing it. Right? Not somebody sleep with their mouth open. And you over, lip to lip, as if you was giving them some special CPR. This man, jeggings wearing dude, kicking up on heavy bag, kicking. Like we used to see the majority of people who identified as such, this is not new. We always had guys in the hood that was a little, sensitive. And if anybody got in the fisticuffs with them, they were kicking. The overhead swinging kicks. So I don't know why this man doesn't just identify, come out. Because in his response to it after he got the backlash, he comes on live. I don't know. I'm just happy and living my life, but you people keep talking about me. Buttery. Real lizard-like. So go ahead, if you're talking about me to get your views up, and I'm just minding my business, living my life. He's identifying. So let him identify. We don't care. But since the mayor and everybody else is seemingly ready to start pointing out people on social media who they deem toxic, I want to know, do we have a voice in that? Do heterosexual men, melanated men, say we don't want that type of stuff on social media? It's prevalent. We don't want to see men blowing smoke in other men's mouths. That's why the thumbnail is like that. He's got something in his mouth, just like Bucky has something in the mouth. So they one and the same. People who we watched through social media. Yeah. So now I don't even have to worry about his spy versus spy outfit, his booming system boots. Now I'm looking at him blowing smoke from whatever. We don't know if it's legal marijuana. We don't know if it's a little bit of savage fentanyl. We don't know. He could have bodied that man because he was clearly asleep. Is that a violation? Is that an assault? How do we know that man wanted somebody blowing in his mouth? Pause. Is that environmentally toxic? I mean, let's keep it all the way buck, Mr. Mayor. And others, let's keep it a buck. Is that okay? We got to be mindful of this, yo. We have to be mindful of this. Because if they start getting rid of people who are woke or conscious or information based and allow that, whoa, what's really good here? What's really good? That's okay, huh? Come on. Somebody tag them. We need answers in this class. What was going on in your mind, sir, when you decided to put your mouth on that other man's mouth and blow? Boom. Where's Cam and Mace at on this? Where they at on this? Does that make it to It Is What It Is? Does that make it to the show? They in the rap community. Are they going to give that some attention? Come on now. Jared Ball, come on. What are we doing here? That's okay. But us critiquing what's going on in our communities, what we're watching, what we're witnessing, what we're living through, the severe mental health crisis is going on, and not having the resource to even begin to address it. You know how much it costs to begin the process of addressing mental health in an individual? Most of them degreed people with PhDs and masters and social work certificates would laugh at me if they knew that I was giving the expertise for the rates that I give it. You think, what is the matter? Really? Really? Because it's about making sure our community starts to heal so we can really get down to the business of being liberated. You can't go see nobody, especially if you don't have no insurance. It's a whole list of things that they go through. Medical history, blood work, this analysis, that analysis. Oh, you know how much it costs just to begin? That's why we have so many of them in the street. That's how come we have so many people who don't address it. We still at a space where parents don't want to get their kids tested for learning deficiencies and stuff like that. Kids who may need medication. Oh, no, because you scared of the stigma that you're going to have, not on a kid. So by the time the kid is 17, kill everybody in the house. And I'm not talking about O-Face, I'm talking about us. We're doing this right now. But it's okay for Wiz Khalifa to be blowing in a man's mouth. What are we doing? That ain't toxic. He carrying on like Shay. So let's go. Because our women, our women are doing it. I'm telling you, you are the nurturers. You're the queens. What you say has to go. You know that from controlling your own household. If the queen say don't bring no more Wonder Bread in here, I guarantee you nobody bring no Wonder Bread up in the house. That's a guarantee. Women run their households. Well, hold up. We just went through 2 generations of Shea Bucky Johnsons. Now, let me tell you, I keep telling you, I don't like to go in on these women because they are a manifestation of the lack of leadership and commitment from our men to make sure that these institutions are not the only places they have to go for finance. So I give them breaks. But enough is enough. Because this chick right now is going viral because at 40 years old, her ass is going through something an 18-year-old, a dummy, a youngin' is going through at 40. talking about having some procedure at 40? After being on television almost 2 decades. This is what y'all paying attention to. So many don't even watch the TV show no more, but they know what's going on because of social media. This is the toxin. This is the environmental toxin. So the environment here is the black woman. The black woman is doing a lot of toxic, dumb shit on social media, and it has spilled over into their very real personal lives. Now, again, it could be a storyline. I don't know. But I'm watching, and I'm seeing this woman cry. I'm seeing this woman have this discussion with her mother about a no good man, no good, who she already have a seed from. And now she finds out she's with child again. And thinking about, not even thinking about it, saying, don't get used to it, I'm having this procedure. And I'm like, yo, hold on, man. What are they putting out? What are we doing? Now, if you don't know the history, this is the history. Shay Bucky Johnson. Bucky, because that is what Flavor Flav nicknamed her. Remember, Flavor Flav, King Custy, DeWan Clark, salute for the funding the war effort. Yeah, you remember them taking Flav and pimping him out? Like Pimp My Ride, cleaned him up, and had him with a bunch of women. This particular woman, melanated woman from Atlanta, joined the cast August 2006. Where we at right now? This is 2024. And this woman has been riding that little 15 minutes still as a D-list celebrity. D-list. And we still have her in a space where our youth, young women can be influenced by this. We supposed to believe that at 40 years old, this woman is still that dense, that this argument, that this discussion with her mama, like really? But this is what Hip Hop 50 celebrates, because this is all an extension of hip hop and commercial rap. You wouldn't even know who this woman was if it wasn't for Flav. You wouldn't even know who Flav was if it wasn't for him being a hip hop pioneer. So this is where we at now. We're 41, too old for that dump. A 40-year-old? Not to mention, past. I mean, all around the industry. Hold on now. We seen the tape. Definitely seen the tape. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Seen the tape. Very vivid. Very clear. We don't take no points off for that. Christopher Farmer, salute. Much appreciated. Okay? Yeah. Got moisturized, all that. We seen that. Okay. But as I told you before, everything on social media, on television at that time, relating to hip-hop and having those specific executive producers, the majority of those individuals on there came from the sex industry, especially Love and Hip Hop and Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, all had already had run-ins with the authorities for prostitution, for soliciting prostitution, for pandering, or sex tapes or all that before the cast was even put together. So we already know where it's at. But how many young women were poisoned by the theatrics? Okay? Remember, Flav is custody. They kissed Flav. All of them. Bucky, Delicious, Boots, Hoops, all of them. New York. So now, what point are we supposed to give a different image or belief about who she is? And now again, here we are in 2024 with the conversation, knowing very well that in many states, thanks to these dudes, the procedure is not legal. Ooh. Ooh. But it's pushed. See, it wasn't enough of us being viewers in that what is it, Pregnant at 16, or what is Teen Mom, or whatever the hell they was doing on MTV. They couldn't poison enough of us. So they knew and created this aesthetic of black women ratchetness, right? Materialists for Love and Hip Hop and Basketball Wives and Married to Medicine and all this other dumb weirdo shit that have the average black woman buying into that bullshit. Said now, when these women are middle-aged, we're going to keep the games going. Because I told you, with our life expectancy, 35 is middle age. So for her to be 40 years old talking about procedures and expecting a mother to think differently, this shit is cap. Like, what are you doing? Well, where are we going at with this? Where? What are black women absorbing? Because I'm telling you, I see it all. I follow it all. Yeah. And what you intake and you start to excuse becomes a belief system. Yeah, because you're excusing it. In hopes that if you do the same thing, people will excuse your behavior. So I'm seeing it. We always say it in class, in all walks of life. Nurses, gym rats, truck drivers, cooks, all real estate agents, everyone. Showing a whole lot of rump. Which means you excuse the behavior that was once thought of less than morally acceptable for our most dedicated and our most strongest ally in our survival and the suppression, the black woman. Yeah. So as we got this middle-aged woman talking about a procedure, and the younger ones are watching Booty Hole Brown get her brownness ate on stage while she's still with child, We're in a bad space. We're in a bad space. So is that the social media? Is that what good mayor is talking about? That behavior? Come on now. Because if we're looking at Bucky hard enough, we might miss Nikki. Yeah, Barbie Crillz, who can't be sober online anymore. Bobby Crillz versus Meg the Bronco. We might miss that dumb conversation as if these are two gladiators of hip hop. Barbie Crillz and Meg the Bronco. Really, we having this conversation? And this has been the pattern for the last 2 years. They're going to give you something juicy Thursday night and allow it to go viral all the way through the weekend. So you could forget that the water is tainted. So you could forget that somebody just got shot down a block. So you could forget that somebody's child is missing. You understand what I'm saying? We're going to talk about Barbie Crillz. Come on now. Every time she goes live on IG now, she high as a kite. High as a kite. A new mother. A mother. These are mothers. I want y'all to look at. This is not the average black woman on TV. This is all of them that they're presenting to you. And how that excusable behavior is festering in our communities. Because it's not being checked. There's no alternative. You're not seeing the other side. There's nothing coming from the other side. Because the other side is too busy in these old-phase ass, in these old-phase institutions. So you got the Crillz, pink Crillz, getting ready to have this war of words with this Bronco. This whatever the hell it is. This is where we at now. After 50 years of hip hop, we talking about Barbie Crillz, Meg the Bronco. In a rap, then words. This is what we're gonna go into the weekend with. These are the black women. Come on. Come on. Come on. Y'all gotta watch. Look at how they're painting. Look at what the painting. The strongest image that we had of black women was Nefertiti. You don't see it anymore. You don't. I don't care if the TikToks and the IGs are coming from the continent. I don't care if they're coming from the Caribbean. I don't care if they're coming from right here or Canada. Nobody is being presented as such. They all are leading with their ass. And when you lead with your ass, you are leading backwards. I dare you to find me somebody not doing it. It is pervasive and it has permeated the essence because that's how the women think they're going to win. And they're not. I just watched the botch last night. with some brown-skinned sister who thought she needed some cake and ruined her. She had no behind, no hips, nothing. They had to create a whole behind for her. This is where we at. This is where we at. But I want you to really think about what's going on in the mentality of a woman who's going to go through a procedure like that, where her entire essence had to be pushed. What was the belief? What was the projected outcome? The projected outcome is for me to have a specific look in order to get somebody to pay for my existence, for my being, for my lifestyle. Do you know how poisonous, you know how savage like that conditioning is? You gotta look at this shit. That's a whole mentality. I don't care if you're a nurse. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're a lawyer. I don't care what it is. If you believe your box is going to get you everything you need and desire, you don't need and desire much. Straight up. I mean, I ain't met a box yet that I would pay for. I'm just a different breed, though. I already live specific lifestyles, so I don't pay for box at all. But this mentality is it's at such a high level that now our baby girls are being born with it. They're being taught this. Is that the toxic environment of social media that the mayor is talking about? Because I could show him a few on his staff and around him who rock just like that, who've appeared with these same type of women, who twerk even and don't let me go there. Got pictures of their lives to prove it. Got mad screenshots of those who y'all believe is for the people. With their ass out. Because it has become a collective thought. And as such, many of the men rebel against it. Not in the most progressive way. However, a lot of these men start bromancing and having these he-man, woman-hater club type of groupings. And begin to bromance with themselves a little bit too much. Is this the essence of the social media that you want to shut down? I'm saying, I'm asking. This is class. I'm asking. Because this is where we at with it. This is where we at with it. Again, I'm only a vessel of truth. You don't have to believe in me. Don't believe in me. Believe in my belief in you. I'm giving you something here. We're in a very bad space. And they're trying to put the clamps down to make it worse. Yeah. Listen to what they say out their mouth. Watch what they do. Okay. Okay. All right. That's where we at with it. I'm telling you, when they make these statements, they're not talking about them and that agenda ball. They're talking about us and being able to communicate effectively with one another with information that's going to change the quality of our lives. Our potential to be greater is in our hands, but you have to listen and watch and then do. I'm telling you, they done took it out. That's who we talking about now. That's the talk of the weekend. And if it ain't them, it's other variations of it. This is layered. Who eating who do what, who leaving who getting what, who. None of this shit has anything to do with a united front to liberate our people. None of it. Salute once again to my classroom assistants for holding it down. Y'all know where we at with it. Okay? Y'all know where we at with it. Salute to the class. 55 gang, I see y'all up in here coming through late. See y'all. Y'all gonna fail. Y'all gonna fail. Oh, almost forgot. Hell no, we can't go nowhere yet. Wait a minute. Because we said something was cap just last week. Look what happened. We said that Mos Def going at Drake was cap. We said somebody was trying to get in the whip. We said that, didn't we? Oh, we did. And I was specific. The initial piece of this interview, that came out was Mos Def, Yasin Bey, calling Drake Pop. That was it initially. Again, like I say, the way they filter these things are plots, plans, rollouts. You understand? I'm saying, why he going at Drake? But for the last few weeks, I see him on his live talking about good morning, humans. Good morning, beings. Wassalam, beings. All is great. The tea is cooking on the kettle. We are good. The bees are buzzing and the flowers are pollinated. How are you, human beings? This is what I'm saying before anything. I'm like, yo, what's up with this dude? So he goes at him, and that's all we see. Now, afterwards, we get the entire interview, and we're seeing that he's saying some very solid things about this and that and that. Why wasn't that the viral piece? Why was the viral piece going at Drake? And then, of course, Drake subtly, not even acknowledging, okay. Now, a day and a half ago, Common Sense certifies Drake as hip hop. I'm like, what? Common and y'all seen his man. That's y'all man. That's your man. Been your man. That's your man. Been your man. Since y'all was on Rupert Murdoch's son label. Y'all do know that, right? Y'all do know Rupert Murdoch's youngest son had an independent rap label. Y'all do know that, right? Hmm? Who owned Raucous Records? We do know. We know that, right? We do know Mos Def, now known as Yasin Bey, now known as Humanoid. We know that, don't we? We know that they are tight. Now, he makes a definitive statement. I consider his music pop, like they play it in Target. Common comes out and say, nah, Drake is hip hop. If y'all don't see the rollout, but I knew the rollout was coming when they used that sample for Miss Fat Booty in one of these current songs. This is how they get people back in the whip. This is how they play on people's intelligence. Now what? Somebody about to have a record, right? Somebody gonna have a record response. Guaranteed. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Don't want y'all to pay no attention to it. Trust and believe. Don't pay no attention to this shit. Don't pay no attention to this shit. I don't know who drew this up because it sounds like a 50 in game incident, right? This is what it sounds. This is the same bullshit play. Yo, man going, oh, that was my man going against the grain. Yo, hold up, son, nah, son, nah. Oh, it's up, everybody against me. Let me go in the booth and make something. Come on. Told y'all that shit was cap. This class is too sharp. We told y'all, what was the other dude? E1, Day 1B. Where that dude at? The funny head dread dude. I told y'all that shit was cap. He gone now, right? We don't hear nothing from him no more. Where's the community work? Where's all that? Gone, right? Right? Guard your mind. As always, guard your mind. They got so much cap going on. It's pathetic. But these, again, like I said, your viewership, what you pay attention to, now more than ever, is a resource. This is what they're banking on. No longer are the days when you have to buy a physical ticket to a concert, when you have to buy a physical ticket to a ball game. No longer are the days where you have to go get a vinyl LP or a cassette or a CD. Your attention is the resource. What you watch is what they're trying to count on. Stop watching this bullshit. Stop paying attention to this clown show. Because they never in the town. They never in the hood. And they never doing any work. All right? So peace and power, guard your mind. All praise due to the people, the struggle. Y'all will win. Y'all got it. Just redirect your attention.